This is Idaho Sports Talk with Prater and the Ball Game.
It's about to get crazy. It's gonna be loud. This is us. We do what we wanna. We'll go the roof. Everybody's coming. It's about to get crazy.
On Sports Radio 95.3 FM and 1350 AM, The Ticket.
Well, Mother Nature must be an Idaho Sports Talk fan. Welcome to fabulous Las Vegas. It's been a little iffy all day, but just before we go on the air, it turns spectacular. What's going on? And welcome to what we hope is your favorite sports talk radio program. This is Idaho Sports Talk. We're Prater in the Ball Game. And congratulations, you found KTIK Sports Radio, The Ticket, and Bronco Nation News on this fabulous Wednesday edition. Be a part of the show, 208-424-9300. Like, follow, subscribe to what we're doing in social media. And today, Prater, we got AM, FM, websites, cameras. We are streaming this show live. If you want to watch our pretty faces, I'm Johnny Ballgame, live from Circa Resort Stadium Swim. You can see behind us. We'll get to JP in a second, but I'm going to open up with my partner today, Michael Forrest Prater. Mike Prater, we did it. We made it. Here we go.
Ball game. 4 years ago, we launched this dream called Prater in the Ball Game, and we know at the top of the list one day we wanted to hang out in Vegas, which we have, but I don't think we've ever done a show from Vegas. I missed the last time you guys were down here, and here we are. And we appreciate our partnership with Bronco Nation News, and BJ Rain's going to join this ugly little threesome here in a little bit, but Vegas, baby. And I cannot wait to get this started with you, my friend. It's the Mountain West Championship edition, and let's talk some Boise State basketball.
All day. Wyoming lost to Fresno, so they have advanced. They'll play Utah State tomorrow, and Colorado State, they're up next. We'll keep you posted for the Mountain West tournament going on. Of course, Colorado State playing San Jose State. Prater, let's check in with our good buddy John Patrick. Buddy, putty, whatever the hell he is today. JP, you're in the rowpaint.com studio. How's the weather up there?
The weather here is fine, and I'm just happy to see that you guys, neither of you, ended up on the Clark County jail roster overnight. Did you?
As far as you know. Right? As far as you know.
Oh, good to see you guys. Yeah, it looks like a beautiful day there.
I will tell you this, though. I mean, BJ, and he'll join us in a second. BJ falls asleep last night before his wife shows up to the hotel. She's calling him. She's texting him. He didn't wake up to let her in. Poor Karen Prater. She just sat there and waited. She thought he was out at the gentleman's club with us. We weren't even there.
No.
Yeah, BJ was the only one that got in trouble last night, JP. Me and Prater, we're solid gold right now. We're going to have a fun show today. So appreciate that, JP, and Prater, we got a lot to get to.
Come on, Ball Game. You better be nice to BJ because, we may not have gotten in trouble with our wives or whatever last night, but I got a bone to pick with you. And the over-under in the Circa Sportsbook on when we're going to bring up Max Rice was about 3 minutes and 25 seconds into the show. I'm not sure if we hit it or not, but come on, throwing stones at BJ and yesterday's infamous, a photo that will go down in history. The three of you knuckleheads, Johnny Ballgame, BJ Rains, and Max Rice sitting cozy side by side on a Southwest airline. I'm not sure who had the middle seat. Did you guys trade like little brothers? And I thought that was a really cool photo. It was a really cool moment. And I knew that Max Rice would work his way into the opening segment of this show.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, I was trying to hide it, trying to dodge it, Prater. You called me on it. The social media scene was pretty funny last night in regards to it, especially BJ's hat. Now that I'm sticking on this anthem there, but no, Max. Max. I sat in the middle, by the way, and we watched the Gonzaga game on the way down. It was a really nice, comfortable flight, Prater, and you were in the way back with some of the other team, or you probably weren't even close to the team. You sat next to your wife.
Well, no, I sat right between. Leon Rice was right in front of me, and Buzo was right behind me, and Buzo's a big dude, and I'm a big dude, and we struggle in Southwest Airlines. I thought about reclining. I don't ever recline my seat, even though I'm a big guy. I'll take the knee. I'll take the damage in the knees. But I almost thought about reclining into Buzo's lap last night to kind of get his game face irritated, but did not go there.
No.
It was weird. It reminded me of the old beat writing days when you'd get on a plane with the team. And, you like that stuff. It makes me a little uncomfortable because I'm writing up a column last night, beating up on these guys, and they're looking over my shoulder, and Burns is going, "What are you writing about, Prater?" I go, "Your crappy defense is what I'm writing about right now." So it's all good. We're having fun here, and cannot wait for this. I cannot wait for Thursday's basketball game. I cannot wait for our cabana party on Friday.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I know the weather reports are what they are, but if it's anything close to what it is right now, I know it's a little windy, Prater, but I mean, it's hot. I mean, I know you're wearing a sweatshirt. I don't know how you could wear a sweatshirt in the Sahara Desert and not be hot. But for me over here, T-shirt, shorts, Prater, no socks. I'm feeling good on this today.
Oh, I like the no socks look.
It's going to be fun,
I like the no socks look. Look at that.
We'll do Bronco Focus. Got Bob Beeler joining us here. This hour, we'll move that up a little bit. But, Prater, our big guest today, other than, of course, BJ at BNN, is Derek Stevens. He's the owner and CEO of this place, Circa Las Vegas, Circa Resort, Stadium Swim. Matter of fact, he owns a couple other casinos as well. Prater, one of the more powerful guys in sports in this town, and this is now a very powerful sports town, is coming on IST in a half hour. We got some really good questions for Derek Stevens.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this conversation. We've been trying to get Derek on our show for a year or so now since this partnership with Circa and BNN, and juggled some things today and bringing him on. We're going to break all the rules today, guys, because we're in Vegas. Bob Beeler's going to join us at 3:15, Bronco Focus. That's not in his regular time spot.
Yeah.
JP, I know you've been hard at work in the studio building your 3:30 news update, and you probably got stacks of paper that you just wasted.
Oh, God.
Throw it all in the garbage, my friend. Derek Stevens is going to join us at 3:30, and we're going to get into that, and we're going to talk about everything the ballgame talked about. I want to, and I'm sure he's answered this question 1,000 times, but I want to know what idiot, and I may even say it that way, was sitting at a table with a napkin and had an idea to build one of the largest pool complexes in the world with the largest video gaming board in the world and put it on a rooftop of a hotel in downtown Las Vegas.
Yep.
And I want to know how many people said, "That's a stupid idea. There's a wall in here," thanking everybody for making this vision happen. I would imagine it took about 100 people to convince people that this was a good idea. It's unbelievable. I can't believe we're sitting here in the middle of it. I never even would have thought to imagine something like this.
Yeah, Vegas has, really put its mark on the sports world, Prater. Vegas has always been cool in March because of the gambling. I want to bet on these games. There's so many of them, morning, noon, and night. But typically you can't place a bet in most places, but you always could here. And now not only do you come here to watch the games, but you come here to go to the games. They have just about every sport in Vegas now, championship level stuff too. So I guarantee you, whoever had this idea, idiot or not, they were massive sports fans, and they had a vision to say, hey, how can we give the sports fan, Prater, the sports fan, the ultimate Las Vegas experience? And I think this is the best they could come up with, and they did a heck of a job on that. If you are a diehard sports fan and you're coming to Vegas to do sports, I would recommend Circa 100 times over. Matter of fact, I would say don't go anywhere else if sports is the main reason you're coming to town.
Absolutely. Right? And I think it's the variety, not to turn this into a Circa ad, but the variety. This is our third time here, or my third time here. We came here for the Mountain West Football Media Days last year, and it was perfect. I know you guys did shows, and we all took advantage of the facilities. I came down here during Boise State's bye week. It did a 24-hour romp to Sphere and U2.
Yeah.
And what I did, and working with BJ and the fine folks here at Circa, is I had like a 7 to 8 hour gap in the afternoon, and I didn't want to check into a $300 hotel for 8 hours. I checked into here, and it cost you $25, and you get to lay at the pool and hang out and chill, and you get access to all the facilities, the bars, the gambling, the restrooms, the showers. It's like you can be homeless here for 8 hours.
You totally
if
could.
you got $25. And so we came here, we killed 8 hours. We took an Uber over to the Venetian where Sphere was. It was an absolute perfect deal. So whether it's here for conventions like Mountain West Football, conference tournaments like today, or just stopping to take a nap.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Sign me up every day.
JP, I want to bring you back into this for a second, because Prater did something today that you and I, JP, would typically do with absolutely no shame whatsoever in our game. So I want to ask Prater if there was any bit of shame in his game. Derek Stevens, again, he owns this place. He was
Yes.
texting back and forth with Prater about a time to come on, and he tried to, and he changed the time of the interview. Derek Stevens did, but Prater said, only if you give me a hat that Prater was envious of PJ Raines. He was wearing this morning, and Prater said, yeah, we'll switch the time, but you got to bring a Circa hat for me. That is a total ball game or JP move, Prater. It is. You think he's going to make with the hat?
You've seen me for 4 years turn down all kinds of swag because I'm that guy who doesn't want to owe anybody anything.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I'll correct you on, he changed the time 3 times.
Yeah, okay.
He's a busy man, and we're more than happy to accommodate for him. So he changed the time 3 times. The third time I said, it's going to cost you one of those fancy hats.
That is a nice looking hat. I hope he brings it for you, Prater, and that'll be the 834th hat that you own.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Prater
And if he doesn't bring it, he's not coming on the show. He's not coming on the show if he doesn't bring the hat. That's the rules in Vegas, baby.
All right, Prater, let's get to some basketball talk before we bring Bob Beeler on this program. Idaho Sports Talk, BNN here, streaming on all of our YouTube channels, by the way. If you want to watch the show and see this view behind us, you should check it out. But Prater, I mentioned earlier, Fresno, they advanced. They won the morning game over Wyoming. They'll play Utah State tomorrow at noon. Colorado State, San Jose State going on, just starting, I believe, getting underway or been underway for a second. But Boise State, they play the winner of the later game today, New Mexico and Air Force. Going into this thing, they've been a 3 seed before and have been one and done. That's when Leon Rice got mad at you.
I remember that. The slow growth comment right here in Vegas, baby.
Yeah, because they were the 3 seed. They had expectations, and they lost to Tim Duryea.
Yes, they did.
Matter of fact, in the Utah State Aggies. What chances you give Boise State? They have as good a chance as any to win this thing?
I do. I have a strong feeling, and you know me, I'm the negative Nancy guy, but I've had a strong feeling about this basketball team, even back in November and December when they were going through hard times, playing that difficult schedule. And for one reason or another, I've just latched on to the confidence with this basketball team, and they just keep getting bigger, better, stronger, faster. But here's the beauty, and I know that I'm filing a column here, and I think BJ is going to post it here in the next hour.
Nice.
Just talking about the vibe of this tournament. Here's the beauty. Yeah, you can't choke. You got to take care of business. But the beauty of what's going on here is the fact that they've worked so hard and they put themselves into such a good position. Does it even really matter? I mean, yeah, losing Thursday would really be a buzzkill. That would suck. And it would probably knock them a couple lines down on the tournament, maybe. I mean, they're supposed to look at the full body of work, but we'll see how it shakes out. If they get to the Friday semifinals, I'm taking a big old fat deep breath. My point is, you've worked hard since the middle of July. It's the longest season in the history of Boise State basketball, maybe the most physically demanding season in the history of Boise State basketball, and they've probably built the most impressive resume in the history of Boise State basketball. Come to Vegas and enjoy the moment. Embrace the moment for 3 days and just play stress-free, loose-free basketball and see what happens. Because if you lose, I don't think there's that many consequences. I really don't. I know a couple of seed lines matter and momentum matters, and Tyson Degenhart right here on Idaho Sports Talk yesterday said it absolutely matters. But they've worked hard and they've got themselves into a nice position where I think they can come into this thing and not worry about typical March Madness stress that happens when it comes to Boise State basketball this time of year.
Give us your predictions for how you think Boise State will do in this tournament. If they're going to be one and done, say it. If they're going to win it all, say it. Cloverdale Plumbing text line. Send those in 208-424-9300. How will Boise State do in the Mountain West Conference basketball tournament? So we'll read those during feedback finale. Until then, Bob Beeler is popping by. I wonder if Bob thinks this, Prater, is the best Mountain West tournament field he's ever seen.
Oh, good one. Let's start right there, bud.
I bet he does. Bronco Focus, yes. It's not a different time. Don't check your clock. We moved Bob up today. Prater in the ball game live from Circa Resort and Casino in fabulous Las Vegas, courtesy of BNN. This is KTIK Sports Radio, The Ticket.
There are 2 types of people, those who don't embrace technology and those who listen to KTIK on our app. Don't be stuck in the past. Download the KTIK app and listen to all your favorite shows, play-by-play, and anything you may have missed. The KTIK app. It's always streaming and always with you.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting. for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue.
ShadeWorks, low maintenance, high quality.
Sports Radio 95.3 FM and 1350 AM, The Ticket. This is Bronco Focus with the voice of Boise State Athletics, Bob Beeler.
All right, excited to bring Bob Beeler onto the program, and I know Bob loves a cookie during a broadcast. Just FYI, Bob, our sweet deal on Friday is Granny C's Bakery. Might want to take advantage of that Friday, 9 a.m. at KTIK.com. Bob Beeler, wish you were here, man, but you'll be here in a few hours.
Yeah, it's one of the few times I think that you guys have been actually out at the pool and in the sun. Well, I've been back, Johnny, actually sitting in your seat. My flight doesn't leave until about 6:30 tonight. So you guys look like you got a great setup there. I see the big screen behind you. I see the pool. Looks like it's sunny there. I don't know how windy it is, but you guys got a great setup.
Now, Bob, this is absolutely 100% accurate what you just said. This is the first time in 15 years, and I'm going to rub it in. I'm taking advantage of this moment. That's why we moved it up, because I just wanted to rub your nose into it. For 15 years, you've been going on road trips, and you've been laying by the pool doing homework, and I've been stuck in the studio with JP. And finally, after 14 years, we got to flip-flop it. We miss you at the pool, and you are a very smart man. Anytime you can do some work at the pool, get her done. Get your ass down here to Vegas. I can't wait to see you, Bob.
That's going to be fun. Looking forward to the matchup. I had confidence in Boise State getting a bye. Abe and I booked our flights about a month or two back, thinking they were going to be in the top half of the league. So it worked out for us. We didn't have to try to change it.
Nice. Bob, is this the best Mountain West tournament field you've ever seen in your 16, 15, 17-year career here?
Well, I've been here 16 years. We've only been in the Mountain West 13 years of that, but I would certainly say it's the best field. I think there are 7 teams that can really win the tournament, and I think if, Vegas style, if we had a blind draw with 7 guys, each reaching in for one of the 7 contenders, and you put your money in the pot, reached out the name, I don't think you'd be disappointed with any of the names of the top 7 that you'd get. However, that being said, that I think it's the best tournament, I think maybe the drama this year is going to be less, because I think a lot of teams have already played their way into the field, and at least coming from the broadcaster of one of the teams that I think is in the field right now, I don't find the consternation coming into this tournament that I have in a couple of past ones, because I think even if Boise State were to lose tomorrow, I think they're still in the NCAA tournament.
Bob, you've had a chance to watch every second so far of this Mountain West tournament. I know we're only on game 2 right now, but anything stood out early for you? And what do you think's going to happen tonight? The Boise State fans, they're paying attention to Air Force New Mexico, bud.
Well, Wyoming went dead in the water at the end of the game. Fresno State came back from no business winning the game, closed the game on a 19-6 run. Fresno State made all 19 of their free throws in the second half, and that was a game Wyoming should have won. Bad loss for Wyoming. I know it's the 8-9, and the winner's probably going to get eliminated quickly tomorrow at noon, but Fresno State gets to play another day. Colorado State appears to be pulling away from San Jose State, although they're only up 5. San Jose was ahead a lot of the first half. That MJ Amy that had 25 in the first half against Boise State already has 10. But I know the game Boise State fans are interested in is the Air Force New Mexico game, where the winner will play Boise State tomorrow. Those teams shockingly split. New Mexico won easily in Colorado Springs. Air Force won a buzzer beater in New Mexico in a game where New Mexico shot 3 of 16 from 3, while Air Force made 11 of 25. Air Force also was dominated on the glass. New Mexico out-rebounded them by 15. And again, Air Force found a way to win. Air Force won 2 games all year. 2 kind of head-scratchers, that game against New Mexico at the Pit, and then they beat UNLV by around 30 in Las Vegas. So I generally think that this should be New Mexico's game tonight. They need it. Air Force doesn't. Stranger things have happened. Maybe Air Force has New Mexico's number.
This is Bronco Focus, and you have not lost 30 minutes of your time. We're breaking all the rules here in Vegas and moving some things around. Derek Stevens, the owner and CEO of Circa Sports and Stadium Swim, is going to join us at 3:30 right now. Bob Peeler, typically at 3:45, is joining us with a special edition of Idaho Sports Talk and Bronco Focus. All right, Bob, let's focus on Boise State then. They came down last night, press conferences and practices today. You're coming down later today. What can we expect from Boise State this week?
Well, I think they want to win the tournament. I think anytime you have players that are competitive, they want to win the tournament. But I don't think they have to. I think they're in the NCAA tournament, whether they would lose their first-round game or whether they would win the whole tournament, and obviously things in between. But I think where they're going to be helped out, I think the longer they go, the better the seed they're going to get. I think you kind of like to stay out of the 8-9 if you can, because it is a 50-50 game to begin with. But because if you want to get to the Sweet 16 and win 2, you're going to face a top seed. And I think there are 3 of them that are really, really tenacious, starting with Houston, followed by UConn and Purdue. So I think if you want to look about advancing, and I know I'm talking about advancing to a team that has never won a game in the tournament, but I think this team is very possibly a Sweet 16 team, guys. The better you can do at this tournament, maybe you have a chance to move up to the 7. So I think you're playing for help not playing to get in.
All right, Bob, let's dive into the sucker. I'm sorry. Let's dive into the sucker the only way that you know how. For some teams, the path is going to be a lot easier, but which teams are actually going to benefit by not having to play 3 games?
Meaning like maybe get some rest? Is that what you're talking about, Prater?
Yes, sir.
I've had coaches tell me privately sometimes, but it's always after the fact when they've gotten beat. Wow, we really used the extra time. I don't think you'll have any coach tell a team or a players, guys, let's leave in the first game so we don't win. But it's sort of the silver lining. And I think any of these teams that are contending that are going to play next week would probably benefit from not having to go 3 games. And the reason I think this 3-game gauntlet is going to be so tough for whoever plays 3 games. And if you get to the 3rd game, you might as well win it because you're going to spend the same energy winning or losing. But you're going to play 3 games against 3 NCAA caliber teams. And you're going to do it in 2.5 days because the Saturday game is going to be an afternoon game after playing night games on Thursday and Friday. So, you want to win the tournament. You want the prestige of saying you want it. You want it for your resume as far as getting a seed. But I'm going to bet that at least one of the coaches, after they get eliminated and knows they're in the NCAA tournament, is going to say, yeah, we're going to enjoy the rest.
All right, what about tomorrow, Bob? Big day, maybe the biggest day of the year for the Mountain West.
Yeah, I think we're going to have 4 really good games. We'll see if Fresno can give Utah State a game in game 1. Everything else should be, 2 NCAA-type teams playing against each other. New Mexico and Colorado State probably need to win a little more than the other teams do, and those teams are the 2 that are playing today. And then we'll be on the air. You better take a nap if you want to stay up to the end of the game tomorrow. Abe and I will be on at 9 o'clock Mountain Time with our pregame show. And again, The entire tournament is on 670 AM only. So if you go to 93.1 FM and can't find us, remember, we're on 670 AM only all weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So 2 nights that are pretty late and then a mid-afternoon game to close things out, hopefully. Hopefully, Boise State can win their 2nd tournament in 3 seasons.
Bob, I just want to follow up. You talked a little bit ago about New Mexico and Air Force. That game's supposed to tip off around 4 o'clock Pacific time, 5 p.m. Mountain. But how shocked would you be if Air Force beats New Mexico?
Shocked with a capital S.
Okay.
Shocked. I mean, I have had times during the season where I thought New Mexico was maybe the best team in the league. And I think they can look like it because when they're hitting it on all cylinders, I think they're the most explosive team in the league. I've also thought at times that Boise State's been the best team in the league. I've thought San Diego State's been the best team in the league. Nevada, I thought, was the best team in the league. So I think there's a lot of really good teams. I think New Mexico may be out of the tournament if they lose to Air Force. And if you lose 2 out of 3 to Air Force, plus you've lost 3 out of your last 4 regular season games, I think Richard Pitino is going to be saying hello NIT if they lose to Air Force. I think it may be the most important game of the tournament. All tournament games, including the championship, New Mexico taking on Air Force, they can't lose.
All right, we'll travel safely tonight, Bob. We'll see you tomorrow, maybe even tonight and all this, and we look forward to bringing you Bronco Focus from Circa. It's going to be fun for the next couple of days. Safe travels, bud.
All right, thanks, guys.
There's Bob Beeler. There's Bronco Focus on Prater in the ball game here as we get ready for the owner of Circa Las Vegas, Circa Resort, Stadium Swim, that great stuff. Hey, spring officially hits next week. I know sometimes it feels like summer when you're in Vegas, but you can be ready with everything you need to green up your lawn. Grow those flowers too. How about Zamzows? You find it all at any Treasure Valley Zamzows location. Okay, Prater, we have Derek Stevens coming up, one of the more powerful men in sports in this town of Vegas, and it's going to be a fun interview, huh? You excited for this one?
Anytime you can get 1 degree of separation from Brent Musburger, and I know he's got a long relationship and a great friendship with Brent Musburger.
He does?
All the way back to the D days. And the sports book and the sports bar at the D. I've actually stayed at the D way back in the day when I came down here for what I think is one of the great hidden festivals in all of sports, the Life is Beautiful Festival, which takes place like right over there. And we came down here a couple years ago, stayed at the D and hung out. And there's some Brent Musburger DNA and Derek and Brent Musburger. And
he knows Brent Musburger?
It's kind of the part of the Rat Pack of Vegas gambling. Sports
He
gambling.
got so much cooler for me. Okay.
Let's do it, my friend.
That is awesome. All right, we are live from Circa Las Vegas, Circa Resort Stadium Swim. If you're watching on BNN or KTIK, much appreciated. And, of course, our radio audience, you can't see it, but hopefully you'll take our word for it. It's Las Vegas, and here he comes right now. We're going to have Derek Stevens on when we come back. You got yourself Idaho's ball game, KTIK, the ticket.
Idaho Sports Talk with
More at Staples.
Follow the madness of March.
Up he goes for a two-handed tomahawk stop.
Every slam dunk, buzzer beater, and Cinderella story.
Drive to the basket and flushes it with the left hand.
Your exclusive home of March Madness is Sports Radio, The Ticket.
Welcome back. Prater in the ball game. Idaho Sports Talk live from Circa, Las Vegas, the Circa Resort, a stadium swim, the #1 destination on planet Earth if you're a sports fan. And I know you guys listening are, so we will see you at Circa. Prater in the ball game. We are joined now by the man who made this, almost literally, I guess. You could probably check his hands. They look rugged. I bet he put a brick on here or two. He's Derek Stevens. He's the owner and CEO of 3 casinos, not to mention the one we are at right now, or to mention that, Circa, Las Vegas. Derek Stevens, welcome to Idaho Sports Talk, man. This is going to be fun.
Hey, great to see you guys. 95.3 The Ticket. I love it. What a great time. What a great time it is to be in Las Vegas right now. Basketball tournaments all over. Beautiful sunshine. I'm getting a little sunshine.
Dude.
I don't usually wear this all the time, but I was in meetings, so I popped out of my office, which is right here, right below Stadium Swim. So I don't really wear a tie out here too often.
You don't?
No. I like to come out here and chill a little bit, get a couple of beers, and enjoy this water and sun. But I appreciate you getting me on for a few minutes here and allow me to say hello to you and all these faithful Boise State listeners.
Yeah, Prater, he came walking up like Robert De Niro or Joe Pesci on some casino movie. I'm like, okay, I like this guy. Derek, so I'm just envious because we all answer to people. We all have bosses. Derek, do you answer to anybody?
Oh, everybody's got a boss. Nevada Gaming Control Board, the Liquor Commission, Illinois, yeah.
The big dogs, the big dogs.
Everybody, the more you got, the more bosses you get. It's kind of the way it works. So, yeah.
He's got 2 phones in front of him, too. I love it. Derek Stevens, he owns this place. How'd you make it? What's the story?
Well, I came out here from Detroit back in 2006. I bought a little place right across from us, right behind the screen of Stadium Swim right here. 100 room hotel called the Golden Gate Hotel and Casino, the oldest building in Vegas. The address, it's right on the corner of Main Street and Fremont. The address is 1 Fremont Street.
Awesome.
The very first address, and I bought that 2006, and I kind of thought, well, one of 2 things is going to happen. Either we make it, if we make it, then we're going to grow, and if we don't, I'm going to go back to Detroit. Figured I took a bet, and I lost it. So things worked out well. Made enough cash to parlay that into buying Fitzgerald's, which we turned into the D, and then that worked out pretty well. And then we had an opportunity to buy a handful of buildings in this city block that Circa's sitting on, and was able to design and construct Circa. So this is our first ground up casino, and we were able to. This is all done by a handful of things: sitting at a bar with your buddies and sketching.
I told you.
He called that. Yeah.
Really?
I did. We were talking about this, and I said this is going to be my first question. I said some crazy drunk in a bar with a napkin came up with an idea that we wanted to build not only a cool hotel, but take the world's largest sports pool complex, add the world's largest sports gambling video board, and put it all together. And I'm hoping that at least 10 of your buddies said, "You're crazy." But it happened, didn't it?
Yeah, more than 10. I mean, I would say it was hundreds of people that said, "No, don't do it." And but we had a core group of people that were working at the D, and we got pretty creative, and we started thinking about what we could do. Like this concept right here, we have a place behind the D called the Downtown Las Vegas Event Center, and we spent 2 years throwing music festivals, food festivals, things like that, concerts, and what we tried one night, we decided, hey, we ought to try. Why don't we go get a pool? So we spent like $50,000 to go buy an above ground pool. It's 200 feet long. Took us with a hose. Took us 2 weeks to build this son of a gun up. And lo and behold, we just put it out there. And everybody's like, "What are you doing that for?" And all everybody could talk about is like, why would they do that? Like, this was exactly what we wanted. We want to see what happened. Well, all of a sudden, in the middle of this concert, people started jumping in the water.
Yeah,
and it was pretty good. And then the next thing we thought, wow, people are drinking in there. So what we did is next concert, we rolled up a bar next to it. People started buying drinks, and we thought, okay, there's something here.
Okay.
People like to watch events, and people like to jump in and do things and drink while we're in the water. And then I thought, well, sunshine, 325 days of sunshine in Vegas. Let's mix that. Let's create this big old screen, watch all the games. It's how all the things come together.
It's beautiful. I love it. The sports book is even more awesome. Hopefully we're going to do our show from in there tomorrow. I know Ballgame and I have spent some time in there. Let's dive into some serious business because you don't have a lot of time. Your relationship with the Mountain West Conference. We were here last July for the football media days. I know you're meeting and your staff is meeting with the Mountain West Conference, trying to build and grow this thing. How far can it grow? How can it grow? How can we get the Mountain West more involved with what you do here at Circa?
Well, I mean, I think what's happened really with a lot of help, just meeting a lot of people. I mean, BJ Rains has been a great guy to help us out with the Boise State connection. We did the Mountain West Media Days event for college football last year here at Circa, and I think everybody at Mountain West really liked it. I met with Gloria Tavares last night. I was at the women's tournament last night with Gloria and with John Sullivan, the football scheduler of the Mountain West. We just talked about how we can really grow the Mountain West in Vegas. I think there's a lot of reasons why it makes a lot of sense for all parties. Vegas wants the Mountain West.
Okay.
We've got a team in the conference, and this is like it's a hometown team that has a good football stadium to use. It's got good basketball options here, and you got a city that really wants the Mountain West. So we're trying to work through a deal here to get Mountain West kind of look at Vegas as a hometown in a lot of ways, to anchor a handful of events, from tennis to softball, baseball, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, college football, where we can have Vegas as the location for the league championships on a consistent basis, where we can have a location for league meetings and media days and all kinds of great stuff. But, we've really come to understand how important it is for the Mountain West to be able to travel in and out of in transportation, both costs and time, where you can get in and out of a city. This is kind of something that kind of Vegas kind of excels at, with all the convention business and things like that. It's a city it's easy to get in and out of from a lot of different cities. So there's a lot of things that are all kind of coming together here. And obviously with college sports in such upheaval over the last 12 months, I think there's a lot of reasons why I think both the Mountain West maybe wants to lock in, and Vegas certainly wants the Mountain West as the hometown conference here.
That's great to hear, because we talk about it all the time on the air in Boise, Idaho, that, the Mountain West does have this incredible resource that is Las Vegas. Let's use it as much as they can. Derek Stevens is with us right now. He is the owner and CEO of Circa Las Vegas, Circa Resort, here where we are, Stadium Swim, 3 casinos in all. For our guest, Derek Stevens, my partner will talk college sports. I'll go to the pro scene. How's pro sports, live pro sports in this town, Derek, help take it to maybe even another level that maybe some folks thought wasn't possible when it comes to sports in this town?
Well, I think, I own the AAA baseball team here for 6 years. This is like 07 to 13.
You own that team?
I own the AAA team. It's the Las Vegas 51s. We were a Dodger affiliate. Then I was a Blue Jays affiliate. And then I sold the team in 2013. So I had a little sense of what pro sports would like, but not at a major league level. This was a minor league level, but I had a pretty good sense of who the businesses are in Vegas that would support sports, and I felt I had a pretty good sense of what the local community wanted. I would never have guessed that hockey would have been the number one that came in.
Yeah.
And when the Golden Knights came in, I think we're now in season 7 right now. The thing with the Golden Knights coming in, obviously that first year was a pretty storied year. It's a really unbelievable year to have an expansion team make Stanley Cup Finals. But there was something different. Everybody was concerned, like, oh, hockey won't make it in the desert. Look what's going on in Phoenix. Doesn't work over there. But what happened was this town, if it weren't for the stigma of gambling back in the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s, this city would have had pro sports, major league level pro sports, a decade or two earlier, but all the leagues were a little afraid of sports wagering. Well, as that's proliferated throughout the whole country, that stigma came off, and when the Golden Knights came here, sold out the first 5 years or something like that, and the community embraced this team. That changed the dynamic. Hell, after a couple of years, look what happened. Raiders come in and everything else. Like it's amazing. So I think the one thing that's become very apparent is that sports tourism is a real thing. At Golden Knights games, it's going to be predominantly local still. That's a locals team.
Okay.
Now if you get original 16, Boston, Toronto Maple Leafs, Detroit Red Wings, Chicago Blackhawks, something like that in, you're going to get a hell of a lot of demand for the road team, but still going to be a Golden Knights crowd. Raiders, another story. I mean, football tourism is significant. I mean, we all hear about, teams that travel in the pros. Green Bay Packers, those fans travel.
Yeah.
Jets fans, they travel. Well, you've seen this here. You see this here in Vegas. I mean, you might be looking at 70% of the seats at Allegiant Stadium is going to be the road team. So it's had a major impact on the city. It's had a major impact on jobs, on effectively 8 to 10 different signature weekends now just because of the Raiders.
We've seen the Major League Baseball headlines about the A's coming to town. Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner. By the way, we're talking to Derek Stevens, the man who built this beautiful vision here at Circa Resorts and Stadium Swim. But Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, has talked about expansion. How realistic is it you can get Major League Baseball and NBA here in Vegas, and what kind of timeline? Can we get it done by the weekend?
Well, I think there's a lot of powers that be in Vegas that would like to get both of those done. I think they both have some of their own hurdles still to climb, hills to climb, and they're both different situations. Obviously, the state and the Las Vegas Convention Visitors Authority have already put their position out there with this grant of a few $100 million to help build the A's stadium. So it's pretty apparent that politically we can get this thing done. We would like to have a Major League Baseball team here in Las Vegas. I'd like to be, we're going to be a part of something some way or another. And I think Vegas wants baseball. I think it's good for Vegas because, there's going to be tourism. It's going to create tourism. 81 home games. Whether you're Cardinals fan, Cubs fan, Yankees fan, Indians fan, you're going to come to Vegas to watch your team play at least, sometime on a road trip. So baseball, I think, is absolute economic home run. This one is, I think, is the biggest impact it could have in Vegas. Basketball is another story. I think there's groups that want basketball. I know the groups in Vegas that are pushing for it are willing to self-fund stadium, which makes things a little bit easier. In as much as you don't have to get a legislative session in and a lot of some of the political issues, and and getting public financing or public-private's not that easy today.
Yeah,
that's good, but there's a major problem with the NBA, and it's the fact that I think that the expansion fee's gone up. I think back when a lot of the groups were talking about it, they're looking at an expansion fee of maybe like $1 billion or $750 million. Well,
and that's when it was small.
Yeah, that's when it was small.
Wow.
So I think that's what's changed. When you saw last couple of transactions that took place, it's been a few years. When the Houston Rockets transacted to our neighbor right here, the Golden Nugget, Tillman Fertitta bought the Rockets. You see what happened, with some of the valuations. What's going on in LA and this latest valuation with what Mr. Ishbia did buying the Phoenix Suns. As those numbers go up, realize that means that an expansion fee goes up above the last transaction price. So all of a sudden the expansion fee has just exploded. So the fee is so high that I don't think anybody can get anything done. Dang. So that's kind of where we're at. Because remember if they have an expansion fee, it's effectively like buying a franchise.
Yep. So you have
to pay more than the last franchise transacted at. Plus, you got to build the stadium. So take for example the last transaction of a franchise, and then add another $1 billion on top of it. So it's just the law of large numbers holding things back right now.
One of the most powerful men in sports, certainly in Las Vegas, maybe even in this country. He's our guest right now, Derek Stevens, the owner of this palace. I wanted to ask you, how did Vegas, in your opinion, and be a harsh critic, be tough, how did Vegas handle the Super Bowl?
Oh, I think Vegas, the Super Bowl or Vegas was no big deal. It was a big deal to the NFL. It was a big deal in football circles, big deal internationally, big deal for ratings. But you got to remember, like, Vegas been sold out for Super Bowl for the last 4 decades, and the Super Bowl didn't even have to be here. So having an event where you bring in, what about 380,000 people? Well, you know what that's called in Vegas? It's called like every weekend. I mean, it's kinda,
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, Vegas really is a town that specializes in special events. So for Vegas, this was, I think, very, very easy. Now, I would say the unique things was the extreme heightened level of security and safety that was brought in between FBI, Homeland Security, a lot of the other lettered agencies, and that was something I would say that was a little bit different. The disruption for a couple weeks or a couple months beforehand, that was a little bit different, but it was real cool. I think it played out real well, and in Vegas we like to have a Super Bowl here.
I wish we had a weekly interview with you on this show, Derek Stevens.
I can ask your buddy Aaron and see if we can make that happen.
What time we got?
You got some free time?
We got a million questions.
I got a few more minutes. I don't have to get out of here for another.
You got one more ball game?
Yeah, I mean, we heard you were homeboys with Brent Musburger, and that's like, just a serious brag for us. We are huge fans of Brent Musburger. I have a Brent Musburger action figure in my cubicle at work, and
he's been on the show. We've actually had him on the show before, so you got a big history with him, right?
Yeah. I mean, effectively, we ended up cold calling him, and we ended up doing a show at the D for a couple years called "My Guys in the Desert." And we loved it. We built, the VSiN television studio, and radio studio here at Circa. Brent does Brent a couple things happened. A couple years ago, Brent retired from active announcing. His last couple years he was announcer for the Raiders. But effectively, the reason why he retired was he was really forced to do a lot of college basketball, and it was tough for him to be somewhere in West Virginia on a Tuesday night, somewhere maybe at Penn State on a Wednesday night, and then all this travel. And Brent's like 84 years old right now, so it's a little bit tough to do that with bad weather all throughout the winter. So he came out here, and he wasn't really ready to retire. So he did a couple years with the Raiders, and that worked out pretty well. And then he fully retired. But when he fully retired, he reached out to his nephew Brian Musburger, who's the president of VSiN, and he said, "Hey, I still want to go out and do something, and I love pro football. How about giving me an hour before the early games start on Sundays? It's going to give me the opportunity to think about the old days where it all started with Irv Cross, Jimmy the Greek, and Phyllis George,
Jimmy the Greek,
and everything like that." And Brian said, "Yeah." And what ended up happening, they said, "Okay, who do you want to do with?" So Brent asked Mike Palm, who's our vice president of operations. You might have had him on.
Yeah, we did.
Mike sits on one side. I sit there next to Brent, and I've been doing it now for a couple of years. For me, getting to sit next to a guy who invented you or looking live, I love it. So I'm a big Brent fan. I've kind of gone from a big Brent fan to a big Brent friend. I mean, he's hanging around here all the time. So
he's at Circa, just palling around sometimes.
Every Sunday when he's done, he comes out and we watch football together. He just hangs out with the rest of our crew, so it's all good.
Let us know when you need a couple more crew members. Prater and myself might volunteer. This has been terrific. Derek Stevens, owner, CEO of Circa Las Vegas here, Circa Resort Stadium Swim. This has been great, and Boise State and Las Vegas getting this nice teamwork going. A lot of fans coming down. This is where they're staying. It's because of you and this and everything you're doing, Derek. Thanks for giving us some time today.
Well, no, thank you for having me on. I'll tell you what, I love Bronco Nation here, and the relationship that Circa Las Vegas and downtown Vegas and Fremont Street's really worked out with Boise State. It's been awesome. So for any event, I hope all your listeners know you come to Vegas. I hope you give Circa a shot. We try to be the hometown Las Vegas casino for all of Bronco Nation.
Derek, appreciate your time, brother, man.
Thank you.
Great stuff. This is Prater on the Ball Game, Idaho Sports Talk, Bronco Nation News, KTIK, The Ticket.
Got something you need to get off your chest? Hit the ticket. Sports Radio 95.3 FM
we go.
and 1350 AM. The Ticket.
From the ropay.com studio, this Ticket Sports Update is sponsored by Hillcrest Floral. No matter the occasion, express yourself with the best and freshest flowers in Boise. Hillcrest Floral is exactly what you're looking for. Call 208-345-5151. You can order online at hillcrestfloral.net. Don't know how to follow that up, guys. That was a tremendous interview with Derek Stevens. You guys are hobnobbing with Las Vegas casino owners. I don't even know how to act about that.
JP, we got picked up last night in the longest stretch limousine I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah?
There was 5 of us, and I've never seen 5 humans ravage a bar so fast in my entire life. I will say this.
Come on, Prater.
Of all the people that behaved the most, you would be very proud that it was Prater in the ball game that behaved the most. So,
Yes.
And I'm not lying about that. So we're here for business. There's no goofing around. Johnny was in bed by 8 o'clock last night and up by 7 o'clock this morning, and I'm not sure what the hell I'm doing, but limos, owners, hobnobbers. BJ Rains is taking us to a $700 steak dinner tonight.
Yep.
Life's good, man. Life's good.
Well, let's get you a quick sports update because I know BJ's standing by with his Bronco Nation news report. But Mountain West basketball tournament underway in Vegas today, and Fresno State led Wyoming by 2 with 16 seconds left. Cowboys bumbled their way, though, to a turnover. And it was Fresno State coming away with the win, 77-73 in the first game. Colorado State right now leads San Jose State 44-40 with about 10 minutes left in that game. Boise State women, they fell to San Diego State last night, 72-69 to come up a win short of playing for the championship. And that will be the UNLV and the Aztecs playing for the title there in Vegas at 8:30. Big Sky Tournament comes to a close today at Idaho Central Arena downtown. Right now, the women's championship game is going on. And I bring this up because the women's championship game features a Timberline grad who is looking to lead her team to a championship. Northern Arizona's Sophie Glancy is a sophomore out of Timberline. She scored 30 in the opening game and then 21 yesterday. And right now, Northern Arizona leads Eastern Washington at the half. And then later on tonight, it's an all Big Sky championship with in the men's tournament with Montana State taking on Montana and looking for the auto bid. The Grizz took the regular season both games there. Idaho Steelheads only got a day's rest before starting another series up in Canada after they took 2 of 3 in Newfoundland. The Steelheads started a 3-game series with the Trois-Rivières Lions. That means 3 rivers, Prater. Trois-Rivières means 3 rivers, just like your beloved Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, those French Canadians stole that from Pittsburgh.
So we've got the face-off with Cam McGuire coming up at 5 o'clock today. And finally, some big news with former Boise State quarterback Brett Rippon, who is now off to the Windy City. Adam Schefter reporting and the Bears confirming it that the Chicago Bears have signed Brett Rippon to a 1-year deal as he makes the rounds in the NFL. He's been with Denver, the Rams, Seahawks, and Jets. And now, does that mean that they're not going to draft Caleb Williams? I don't know.
We might have to come back to this a little later in the show, Prater, because Brett Rippon, he might end up being a tutor, a seat warmer, if you will, for Caleb Williams.
Yes.
This could be a very important role for the Chicago Bears. We might have to come back to that. And JP, if he makes the team, Prater and I are going to chip in. We're going to buy you a Brett Rippon Chicago Bears jersey, okay?
Let's do it.
Hey, he took him 4 seconds to say, okay, thanks. That's JP like trying to be nice, just saying, okay, thanks, John, even though he will never wear that jersey.
He'll never wear that jersey.
All right, JP, great stuff. That's your news update. Let's flip things over. Get BJ Rains at Bronco Nation News on this program. Prater, he actually went to the pressers in the media availability today. We weren't able to make it because of the show, so BJ will give us the full update on Boise State as they get ready tomorrow night. And another update, Prater, San Jose State is hanging with Colorado State here in the second half. Wow.
We're going to get some upsets over these next couple of days. Let's hope it's not the wrong upsets.
Prater, the ball game, Idaho Sports Talk, KTIK, the ticket.
Sports Radio 95.3 FM and 1350 AM. The KTIK, the Treasure Valley's original sports station. Sports Radio The Ticket.
A Cumulus media station.
Get in, sit down, and hang on.
It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down.
This is Idaho Sports Talk with Prater and the Ball Game.
It's about to get crazy. It's gonna be loud. This is our home. We do what we wanna. We'll pull the roof down. Everybody's coming. It's about to get crazy.
On Sports Radio 95.3 FM and 1350 AM, The Ticket.
It's hour number 2, Circa Las Vegas, Circa Resort Stadium swim in the background for our video audience here on Idaho Sports Talk. Thanks to Bronco Nation News and BJ Rains for getting us down here for 3 beautiful shows. This is just the first of 3, Prater. Think about that. We got 2 more of these suckers coming this week.
Yeah, we might even sneak into the sports bar tomorrow, which if anybody's ever been to Circa, I know you get fired up over this one. It's like the Taj Mahal. It's so stinking big. You get lost in I think it's like 3 levels, and you need 3 different zip codes to get around in there. And we might do that tomorrow. And then obviously Friday with help from BJ and Bronco Nation News out here at a Bronco Nation News, KTIK Idaho Sports Talk Cabana Party, hopefully with 100 of our closest friends.
150, I hope closer to 150 RSVP'd. So yeah, it's going to be a lot. I hope we'll take this weather on Friday.
BJ Rains with us, our video audience. You can see him there, radio audience. Here he is, BJ Rains on our Double Tap Pub hotline live. Just give them a quick shout out. But BJ, pretty sweet setup here, obviously. But you had a chance to talk with Leon Rice today.
Yeah, went over and talked to Leon, Max Rice, and also Omar Stanley. And I just took away that they seem very relaxed, very it just didn't have that tense kind of day before the game. Mike Burns was telling jokes and stories and pushing people and having all kinds of fun, and the guys just seemed loose. And they had the actual first game, Wyoming Fresno game, was on in their kind of team room. Some guys were eating breakfast, watching that. It was just kind of a nice vibe. Guys got to sleep in a little bit. I think they got a chance to maybe those that are 21 partake maybe in some of the table games last night a little bit, give them a little bit of free time to unwind, and they slept in a little bit and had breakfast, and they were in a good mood today, and just seemed like kind of a loose team that feels like they're kind of playing with house money in this tournament and feel like they're feeling good about where they're at.
Yeah, it does. I know there's a column that's out, and we'll talk about that Prater wrote for Bronco Nation News, kind of this topic a little bit on the vibe. So you noticed that, BJ, they just seem real loose. What in your opinion with this team, obviously covering it the way you have all year, feels like this is a team full of grown men. It's a mature team. How much does that come into play, you think, with Fires? Hey, they realize they're already in. They don't have to empty the gas tank here to get there.
There's been some of those years. I remember one of the Derek Alston years, and some of those years there was just this weird vibe coming into the tournament. They had lost 3 of 4, and all the they can't win in March, talk and all this. And here we go, another slide. And you just felt going into that first game like that they were just probably going to lose, and it doesn't feel like that. Now they very well could lose tomorrow. I mean, the whole cliche about beating the team 3 times, whatever. New Mexico, I think that is a little bit of a tricky, scary game, but I don't think it's because of the way they're playing. I think they're playing better. They won 6 out of 7 going into this game. The only loss was that where they stubbed their toe there at home against Nevada. But I think that they're ascending. If I'm trying to remember in previous years going into the tournament, they just feel like they're playing really good basketball right now, and they're clicking. And these seniors like Max Rice and Cam Martin kind of realize this is their last go at it. And I think they 100% think they're in the tournament. Max Rice even said, Coach told us yesterday, we know we only have 2 games guaranteed. And the fact that they they're kind of talking like that, a minimum of 2 games, one in this tournament, one in the big tournament. And they seem kind of focused on that. And so, I don't think they're going in thinking we got to win on Thursday. I mean, sure, would you want to avoid a 10 seed or whatever else? I'm sure there's implications with a loss tomorrow, but they're in the big dance, and I think they're going to come out playing with nothing to lose tomorrow night.
BJ Rains, Bronco Nation News. We usually do this report every Friday, but we're doing it all 3 days this week from Las Vegas, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from Mountain West Championship and Circa Stadium and Stadium Swim. BJ, I'm always interested, and you mentioned Max a couple of times. I'm assuming Leon didn't say much other than the vibe. But Max, if Max just said hello, I'd be interested in hearing what he had to say. What did Max say today?
First of all, on the picture that came yesterday,
yes.
Max was going to take the middle, and I was the one that said, at least give him the aisle, Johnny. And then Johnny switched, and Johnny took the middle.
I did.
You know,
That's
but
my boy right there.
yeah. And the exact quote from Leon Rice when he walked by and Johnny's like, "Hey, this seat's open." He goes, "You couldn't pay me enough to sit by you two."
We
but
wanted
you know
it,
what?
Prater. We wanted Leon in the middle between me and BJ.
When he
that
found
would have
out,
been the
though,
greatest flight ever.
When Leon found out afterwards, I had on my full screen on my laptop the Gonzaga St. Mary's game. We watched that the entire time. He goes, "Oh, well, Bloop, I should have sat with you guys." So he could have sat with us and watched the game.
He's clearly got his game
Yes.
face on. When we came off the airplane last night, because we were on the same flight as those guys, I walked by him. He completely ignored me, and he said hello to my wife, and he called her by her first name.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? What's going on with that? Come on. Where's the respect for that?
But, yeah.
Max Rice, back to the question at hand.
sorry.
Max Rice, in terms of, you know, how he got here, what he's doing. He's literally down to his last 2 games at Boise State. What was his vibe today?
Oh, very laid back, very relaxed. I think he believes that, you know, I don't know if unfinished business. I think unfinished business. Like that first tournament win next week is obviously a big deal for this program. I think he wants that to be part of his legacy. And the fact that him and Tyson, these guys have been a part of this kind of golden era, these 3 straight trips to the tournament. But I mean, they don't have that win yet. And so I know that maybe doesn't matter for tomorrow's game, but I do think the mindset of, hey, I've had a great career, but I still have a chance to really cement my legacy and cement, you know, Boise State history before I get out of here. And whether that's winning this tournament, whether that's winning a game next week, I mean, he still has memories left to make here, he says. So I think that he's focused, determined. You know, he was an honorable mention All Mountain West guy. Maybe in some people's minds didn't have the senior season to this point that some thought he would. Points, you know, scoring some of the droughts he had in the middle of the season. But you know what? Like the last month or so since that New Mexico game, he's turned it on and hit the big shots when they needed him to. And so I think and Cam Martin too. I mean, Cam Martin, 7-year journey, and maybe he doesn't get as much attention coming off the bench, but he also knows, like, you know, I went to 4 different colleges. I did all this stuff, came back for a 7th year, literally for this tournament and for next week. And so I think the veterans are really going to lead this team and really try to do something special over these next 2 weeks.
I know you also had a chance to talk to Omar Stanley today. He was kind of the third part of that press conference and soaking in the Mountain West moment for the first time in his career here in Vegas. What kind of vibe was leaking out of Omar today?
That this is why he came to Boise State. He could have, you know, gone to a lot of different places, and he chose Boise State in part because of what he thought the potential was of this team and what they could do. And
because Boise State had a better avenue to the NCAA tournament than St. John's.
Man, wow. And Richard Pitino still gives his dad credit for that. He's like, why didn't you keep this guy? I mean, he was a heck of a player. And I think, but yes, that is part of it. And they're maybe going to be in the first 4, whatever, this year with them, but it's a whole different team, obviously. But yeah, he felt like when he transferred, what he was looking for was a good culture, a good fit, but a chance to win and a chance to be in a situation like this where you're going to the NCAA tournament. And so, you know, the role he's had, you know, I mean, St. John's, he was doing some things, but he wasn't getting a chance to play 30 minutes a game and start and do all this stuff, you know, on a consistent basis. I know he started some, but I think it's just for him, it's like, hey, this has worked out exactly like I thought it would. I'm playing 30 plus minutes a game. I'm averaging double figures. I'm playing for a team that's going to the big dance. And now here we are in Vegas, you know, they got a chance to do something special. And so he also seemed like it was, a little more business approach, a little more business than Max, at least at that point in the interview. But it definitely seems focused. And this is, again, all these guys put in work, as you said in the column, going back to the Canadian trip and stuff, literally for this week and literally for next week. And they feel like they're, as I said, even the year they won the tournament, they lost the last game of the regular season to Colorado State 2 years ago, and they stormed the court on them, and it wasn't a great feeling going into the tournament. Last year, they lost at Utah State, got snowed in overnight and screwed up their plans, and they just really haven't come into this tournament feeling great as they do right now in a long time. And so they all feel it's coming together at the right time. They're peaking at the right time, and they're really excited to go out there. And as Leon says, let the fur fly.
It's BJ Rains, Bronco Nation News, KTIK Sports Radio, The Ticket, live from Stadia Swim in Circa, Prater in the ball game. BJ, I don't know if this is still fresh, but the last game this team played, San Diego State, very memorable. Roddy Anderson led the team in scoring. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if that has happened earlier in the year. I would say no. That was the only game of the year that Roddy was the leading scorer. It was one of the biggest games. They needed it. Obviously, we'll talk about it for a long time. Where's he right now? When you're talking to the coaches and some of these players, it felt like at times his inexperience, his youth sometimes limited them. I don't know if that's the case anymore. Could Roddy, I think he's going to pop at some point. Maybe he has a terrific tournament and capitalizes off what he did in San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, Leon Rice told me on our post-game show the other day, they literally recruited Roddy Anderson like to play against San Diego State. Like his athleticism, his ability to drive to the basket, like, you know, I don't think a lot of people realize this, but at UC San Diego, like he literally was just a scorer and just took whatever shot he wanted and did whatever he wanted and got his points and got his. And that's not what Boise State wants him to be. So he's had to really transform his game and change the way that he has played. And so I think that took some time, and now he's starting to gel. He still has the occasional turnover where he drives the lane with nothing to do. And he's like, you're like, that was awful. What was that, Roddy? But for the most part now, he is being more consistent. He's finding guys better shots. They don't need him to score 16 points a game like he did, but some of the shots he hit, some of the drives, like if he can give you anywhere from 10 to 14 points and not turn the ball over and set up some of these other guys for their shots, they're getting what they want out of him. And I think he is, as big of a story in terms of improvement from beginning of the season till now as anybody. But I will say, don't leave out Jace Whiting. He's played pretty well coming off the bench in his place. And I think those two guys combined and the way Leon's managed that over 40 minutes, I think both those guys, the point guard play has been one of the biggest keys to their late season surge here.
No longer a weakness, Prater.
I love my boy Jace Whiting. I'm a big fan of that, and thank you for recognizing him, smart Mr. Basketball guy. Idaho Sports Talk is going to continue. I know you're heading over to Thomas and Mack to watch the Air Force New Mexico game. I don't expect Air Force to upset New Mexico, and certainly we got a three-peat or a third game, a trilogy, I guess, tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is a good matchup for Boise State. I mean, I know anything can happen in March, but this is a X's and O's good matchup for Boise State, right?
Yeah, by the way, they got the game up here. 2 minutes to go. It's a 2-point game here, Colorado State and San Jose State with 1:47 to go. So we could have our first upset of the tournament maybe here.
Guys, what if like the semifinals is Fresno versus UNLV and I don't know, San Jose State versus Air Force? It's going to be the opposite of the regular
7-bit Mountain
No, we got to get Colorado State out of there. I mean, why is Colorado State getting all this love?
Yeah.
Go San Jose State, which I've never said before.
Yeah.
Go Colorado State to lose. I say that all the time. I hope they get their butt kicked, and I hope they don't end up in the NCAA tournament. New Mexico, Boise State tomorrow.
It's a 14-point spread, so theoretically there should be no issue with Air Force. But Air Force did go into the pit and beat them, so who knows? Crazier things have happened. But I am a little nervous that game for Boise State. Not going to lie. I think New Mexico, on the talent of New Mexico, nobody would deny. They haven't put it together. They haven't been consistent against Boise State. Jalen House is 4 of 27 in the 2 games. Is that going to continue tomorrow? Maybe.
I don't think so.
But the nightmare scenario, which we've seen happen, is New Mexico kills Air Force tonight. They get their confidence back. They hit some threes. They come in tomorrow feeling good. They've already played in the arena, nothing to lose. They're playing for their NCAA tournament hopes, and they just get hot, and they hit 15 threes tomorrow, and Boise State's knocked out. I mean, it happened with Sam Merrill. Sam Merrill had 35 points when Tim Duryea was the coach, 35 against them in the 6-3 game, and they got eliminated in the quarterfinals. So
that's the game that created slow growth in the post game.
Yeah, I was trying to find that.
It was that game, and where I asked Leon about slow growth, and he got mad at me and walked off the stage. End of press conference. Tomorrow, if Boise State loses the opener to whoever, do I ask Leon Rice a slow growth question?
We've made so much progress, Prater. Come on. Wait till if they lose the tournament game next week, the following week, maybe you can bring that up.
I would rather you talk about his dog again before you bring up
mentioned Stella.
No, you have not.
I saw Mrs. Rice last night on the plane. I think it was Mrs. Rice, and I got the evil stink eye. I don't think I've ever recovered from the Stella comment.
But no, I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's maybe their hardest game in the tournament. I mean, Nevada's without one of their players. I think the semifinals is there, and I'm not sold on Utah State. I think if they played in the championship, Boise State would beat them. So it's going to be a fun couple of days, and I wish the game wasn't so late at night for folks back in Boise. But I guess for us here, we get to do the show and enjoy part of the day. It's been a fun couple of days, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow night.
Prater will have a column up on Bronco Nation News soon.
It's up right now.
Okay, go read that Prater column at BNN. BJ, I know you want to get to the Thomas and Mack Center, so we'll let you do that.
By the way, folks are loving the stream on the comments. They said, honestly, you guys could do an all-day live stream. I'd watch every second, and they're loving seeing you guys. They said, love Prater and Johnny, but seeing them,
good-looking guys.
Video.
Yeah.
3 hours tomorrow, baby. 3 hours tomorrow.
Live stream beats your radio. Circa may be better than your studio, they said. So
Circa is definitely better than our studio.
Gosh, no, Andy Rowe, rowepaint.com, we love you, but this is cool too.
Just keep your eyes focused on straight ahead ball game.
I am.
The tape doesn't lie. The tape doesn't lie. When something walks behind us and we both shift our heads to the right, the tape doesn't lie.
Like she had a string on our nose or something. She walks by and just pulls it and just looking at her, man. What do you know? PJ, enjoy the Mountain West tournament, and Well, I mean, you'll be on tomorrow. You'll be on with us the rest of the week. Just
I've got Prater 10 a.m. tomorrow. Prater will be with me. And yeah, thanks to JP and everybody at KTIK that we were able to make this work to get you guys down here. And hopefully we're dream scenario. We're doing an emergency show Saturday morning previewing the title game and with both you guys, and we're having fun. And
that's right. Yeah, Prater's got plans Friday about 5 a.m. Saturday morning.
We'll get Tussed on here then. But no, it's been fun. Appreciate you guys for coming down and our partnership. And it's going to be a fun couple days.
Subscribe to Bronco Nation News. If you love having me and Prater and all this cool stuff, subscribe to Bronco Nation News, and this stuff's going to keep coming. Appreciate you, BJ. We have to say goodbye to our video audience, radio audience. You won't be affected at all. When we come back from this break, we'll be back on 95.3, 1350, KTIK.com, and, of course, our app. Appreciate the video audience. We'll catch you guys tomorrow, but Idaho Sports Talk continues. Radio when we come back. Prater of the ball game, KTIK the ticket.
From the Beacon Plumbing